How's it going, guys? It's Paradise, and we have got our top materia to show you guys. I can't wait to show you this because there's some really interesting things about them that we've sort of learnt over time, so I feel really excited to share them so that you guys know it straight off the bat of starting the game. But before we jump into that, this is your official spoiler warning. Of course, there's going to be no story spoilers or anything like that, but we are showing materia that you get throughout the game, so some people consider that spoilers, so we're just letting you know in case you are someone that doesn't want to see anything from the game before you begin. So we'll start straight off with the elemental materia. This is a really cool one, and it seems like you can only actually get 2 of these throughout your playthrough, so keep an eye out for these. What they actually do is they use a linked materia slot, so you do need to have that link between the 2 slots. But then you pair it with an element, a magical element materia, and it puts that element onto your weapon with an amplifier of 8, 15, and then 23%. It also either halves that element's damage taken, prevents it, or absorbs it as you level it up. And this makes a really big difference in just what you're attacking. If it's weak to it, it makes an even larger difference. It really just stacks up on your attack damage that you're going to be spamming anyway in between casting ATB gauge abilities. So the elemental materia is definitely a must-have. You definitely want to be using this. It takes a long time to level it up as well, so the sooner you start using it once you've got it, then the faster you'll be leveling it throughout your story and playthrough. So I definitely recommend to not sleep on this elemental materia. Not only is it cool because it imbues that element onto your weapon and therefore into all of your attacks, but it also is really effective against what you're fighting and really does make a difference. But don't forget to change the elemental materia that it's linked to depending on where you are in the story and what you're fighting against and what they're weak against. The next materia that you definitely don't want to miss out on is the MAGNIFY materia. This actually changes a spell into an AoE, an area of effect spell. It means that you can basically throw a fire, but it hits every enemy nearby rather than just the one that you've targeted. It does reduce the power of the spell by 60%, but as you level it up, it only reduces it by 45% and then 25%. And something that's really nice about this move, something that I do personally in my gameplay, is use it on a character that has Cure, and then I have AoE Cure and AoE Regen. It's really nice just being able to do one Cure move and it heals up your entire team, but it's also super effective to use it on, say, fire or lightning, depending on what you're battling against, and it really does a chunk of damage to everything, especially once you've got it to level 3, so definitely be on the lookout and be using MAGNIFY as soon as you get it. This is another linked materia slot one, so you do need to have that linked slot on your weapon or on your accessory. But trust me, guys, use it on Cure, use it on lightning or fire, depending on, what you're fighting and what you're struggling with, and you will not regret it. It is so good. Up next is going to be the time materia. This is another one that you're definitely going to want to have slotted on someone in your party. It gives you haste, slow, and then stop at level 3. It also gives resistance to slow and stop, but you're mostly going to be using this to cast haste on your team. It doesn't actually increase your attack speed or anything like that, but it makes you gain ATB gauge much faster. It's really useful. Slow is also very useful on certain enemies. However, stop is incredibly useful. It literally freezes enemies in place. Of course, some things are immune to it, mostly bosses, but a lot of enemies can actually be stopped, and it is super useful. It's almost a must-have in some of the hard mode content. It's so good. Definitely start using time materia, level it up, cast that haste, and get stop unlocked as soon as you can. It is so strong. Then next up we have the first strike materia. This is actually one that you get from doing the battle intel missions, so make sure you're doing those, and I believe you can pick up 2 of them as well, so definitely pick those up as soon as you can and slot them in to start leveling them up, because that large bonus is quite a big difference from the small one at level 1. And what this materia does is let you start an engagement, a combat, with your ATB gauge already filled a certain amount. And it makes a huge difference while you're going through the story on both normal and hard mode to begin an encounter and immediately cast an ability or a spell or a buff or something like that. It really does make a big difference, so I definitely recommend picking this up and slotting it in as soon as you can. I keep one on my cloud all the time personally. I think it's really, really useful. And the next materia to definitely not sleep on, and this might come as a surprise, it's actually the barrier materia. At level 1 you get barrier, which is half physical damage. At level 2 it's half magical damage with mana ward. And at level 3 you get mana wall, which is half both physical and magical damage. So it's so good, especially at level 3 when you can instantly buff yourself against both magical and physical together in one spell. But what makes this so useful is that once you get to the later game content, or once you begin playing through on hard mode, some of the encounters basically need this as a requirement, because some bosses or some enemies just hit you so hard that if you don't have that half damage on, it will one-shot most of your party. So if you're playing on easy mode or classic mode or something like that, maybe you can skip out on barrier, but if you plan on really preparing and aiming for that hard mode or those harder bosses, then I definitely recommend using, leveling up and having barrier slotted on someone in your party. For a couple bonus materia that you don't want to miss out on, we have steel. Steel is super useful. Obviously you can just steal from anything and get extra items, but some bosses actually have stealable weapons which are tied to abilities, so definitely always have steel on somebody, just like you should also have assess on somebody so that you know what you can steal, and if it's a boss, if they have a weapon or an accessory that's special that you can steal. And then finally, the next bonus one is going to be for basically the magic materia. It's going to be a staple. Of course, it's a Final Fantasy game. You want to be using the magic anyway. However, cure and revive materias are really, really important, as in hard mode, they are pretty much a requirement on everyone. Since you can't use items, you have to have another way to heal and revive your team. So if you plan to go into hard mode, then definitely start leveling up cure and revive, and make sure you have enough to have one on everyone in your party. So guys, let me know down in the comments what your favorite materia is, or what you think it's going to be. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Drop a like if this video helped you guys out, and subscribe for more content like this one. I hope you're all being safe out there. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the Arekkz Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there. If you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with, it's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.